I tend to be interested in movies that have an LGBTQ character, perspective, some sort of reflection back to me that we exist. And what better movie to let me know that trans people exist and queer people exist than the movie Emilia Perez. Now, a little bit of background story on this movie for me, primarily background about Zoe Saldana. My experience with Zoe Saldana on a personal level was that when I moved to California to start my transition in 2017, I had been contacted by Zoe Saldana's staff. Their team had heard about me as a LGBTQ business owner and wanted to do like an interview with me. That Zoe Saldana had a website where she was showcasing LGBTQ folks of color who are starting or have started their own businesses. And I had started my cooking show, and now I was taking my show on the road by cooking and selling at the farmers markets in California. And Zoe Saldana had heard about my project. In my home, they interviewed me. I wasn't looking like this. I had just started my transition. They had a whole day of filming at home in my apartment. And as I was setting up my food stand and cooking, they were filming the whole thing, process by process. And then what happened after that was that the footage and the interview and everything never got on that website. And I was checking. And the contacts that I had, which contacted me to set up the interview to film me, was in touch with them, leaving messages to find out what happened to the footage and why I wasn't selected to be on the site. And so after maybe 3 months of checking and feeling like I was madly ghosted, I stopped checking the website and built a resentment over Zoe Saldana. Isn't that cute? Because that was a whole day of filming and having these people film everything and interrupt a bit of a workflow. But I felt it was really going to be a good thing for me to give me exposure, make a connection with Zoe Saldana. Who wouldn't want to make a connection with an artist, an actor of that caliber, right? That she's famous. No, the footage never got to the site, and I don't even know if the site still exists. I forget what the name of the site was. She had a big crew that came and they filmed, and we have a group shot picture of the crew. And so it's on my Instagram. I'll post this image here in this video so you all don't think I'm fucking bugging out. There was reluctance about seeing Emilia Perez because of that. The Zoe Saldana diss. I got mad diss by her and her team. And then secondly, what I was hearing about the movie and the trans perspective being not a favorable portrayal of trans life and individuals, I was disappointed about that. And also, I consider myself to be an actor, that I didn't get to break the glass as a trans artist. I have not been famous. I was on Chop as one of the first trans Latina non-binary contestants. That wasn't enough for me. I had very high expectations of where I wanted to go as a trans artist, chef, and music producer as I am. I didn't score like Carla Sofia scored as like the first trans actor to be nominated for an Oscar. That was supposed to go to me, Zoe. I knew you. Well, I was connected with you in 2017, girl. Why didn't you hook me up? So there was all of that resentment and anger that I had, disappointment all these years with my creative work that I haven't scored, mild scoring here on YouTube, mild scoring with downloads of music, but I was hating. I was doing my own form of hating. And so having that little resentment with Zoe, she didn't know me to let me be in that movie with her. She didn't give me the opportunity. And then the trans vibe that I was hearing through media, that was a wacky trans identity vibe that they had going on there. It's like, I don't want to see it. So a very good friend of mine called me up. It's like, I want you to see this movie. And I'm like, no, I don't want to see it. Glad is not in favor of the movie. I'm not going to go see it. There's a lot of talk that this is whack. The movie's whack. I'm not going to go see it. My friend's like, come on, please. I want to buy tickets for us. I'll treat you. We'll go out to dinner. Come see it, please. I was like, okay. And we went to see it yesterday. And we're going to get into the movie. Okay. So I am not one who likes musicals. I don't support them. I don't like musicals. I do not like musicals. Maybe one that I love is probably West Side Story, the movie. That's about it. So we get there and the movie starts. And 8 minutes in, I want to get up and leave. I was not feeling the musical aspect of this movie. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. But I started to like settle in it because I felt there was a real edgy Latino thing going on with the first song where she's at that outdoor market thing using her computer and the lady says, "You're going to be late. Come on, let's go." And she's printing some stuff in an open market. Yeah, they got internet and they got electricity. Why not have a printer in those places? I like that they talked about, well, there was a line or two about her being a black woman and the job, and that she doesn't know if she's going to really make it with this job. And then she's more brilliant than the white Mexican lawyer that forgot lines and she had to show them. And then they won the case, but she didn't really believe in the case. And she felt like the guy really did the murder. Okay, so she's disgruntled worker. Okay, got that. All right. But a very brilliant woman and a black woman. And she's feeling she's getting the fuzzy end of the lollipop, a line out of Some Like It Hot, which I have to say that when I first got premise of this, what the plot or what the vibe was of this movie, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is like a new version of Some Like It Hot, where the two characters in Some Like It Hot had witnessed a crime happen and took to disguise themselves to protect their lives by dressing as women, and they get tracked down anyway, right? So here's a cross-dressing element and Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe, where the line is, sugar, you won't get the fuzzy end of the lollipop anymore. One of my top favorite, I think one of my favorite movies with Marilyn Monroe, because I adore her and I love her. I have an apron. I must show you. I have an apron, a Marilyn Monroe apron, honey. This girl, she lives all through my apartment, honey. I ain't playing. This is my girl. So I felt when I first heard about what was going on with Emilia Perez that this was a drug dealer that wanted to go undercover and was going to use a trans identity to continue walking the planet and not be targeted as the criminal that he is and face his consequences for being a criminal, right? So I was like, no, bitch, I'm not going to, excuse me. I was like, no, I'm not going to see this movie because that's what is this? A modern day, Some Like It Hot, but like edgier and a musical now I hear that this is, with Zoe Saldana, that never got in touch with me and never aired the footage and never put it online. So fuck all of this shit. I'm not down with this. But as I got into the first song and got over it and got to see that it was a very cool little Latina celebration of Latin life in Mexico for a black woman in law, a lawyer, it got me in. And Zoe Saldana has a good look. I like her. She's got a lean, sexy, black woman, dark-skinned Latina. She's Dominican. I get it. It's cool. This is Mexico. I got it. Okay, cool. And then, the story unfolds. There's plenty of ways you can find out about all the details of this movie. I'll highlight the best that I can. I'm not going to go story by scene. I'm just going to give my opinion of this as a trans person and what that movie did to me. What did it stir up for me? What can I say, good, bad, and ugly about this movie? So I'll say to you that I was really uncomfortable with the scene, the menu list, I call it, of what they could pick to have for the transition of that human. And that scene in the hospital operating room, it was a mockery. That was the part of the movie where I felt maybe that GLAAD had an issue with. Well, I can't say for sure, but I know for me that was inappropriate to the decision-making process of what a trans person may want as far as surgery. It's not like a grocery store list or menu list or like, I'll take Botox. Do you want the rhinoplasty? Do you want the Brazilian butt lift? Do you want this? Do you want that? And everybody with a smiley, goofy. It was a very goofy, like cartoon animation expressions about all the things that they want to pick for the surgery. Oh, and is it for you? And she gets a little like, what do you mean? Is it for me? No, it's not for me. Then again, she was acting as an agent to the drug lord, as I had gone through the process of at least choosing with a doctor what I was going to get. And it wasn't like that. And it was nowhere near that. It could never be that. It reminded me of Wizard of Oz when Dorothy gets in Oz with her three friends and they get her a beauty treatment. They shine off the Tin Man and they restuff the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion gets a real nice, they get the Define Volume curl brush and they go through all his beard, his lion beard and his lion hair, and he's full of curls and ringlets, right? They get all these things, all the pampering. It was sort of like that to me. It was just, no, I didn't care for that. Other than that, the movie moved along quite nicely. I'll go into when Emilia is all band-aid up, takes the mirror and checks her face for what she could see through the band-aids, and then checks her privates. They eliminated the penis. She has a vagina now. It wasn't that simple. That whole like, does it still work? Can I pee out of it? Can anything go in there? Does it look pretty? Does it look real? Okay, we missed that part. And she's like, Emilia, in the bra scene when she's putting on the bra, Emilia, Emilia Perez. I was like, oh, okay. She's got a broad back. She's a broad girl, but she's there. I was like, okay. I'm following. I understand. For this character, I empathize with the willingness to risk everything for your true identity. Like, so he was married, 2 children, a wife. And he was willing to give that whole family structure away, throw it away in order to transition. So that I totally get. And the willingness to do anything, go through anything to make that transition possible. I can relate to that 100%. Let's go back a little bit. Let's think about the individual of this movie who decides this transition. It could be that the selling of the drugs was that way to make that money to have for transition. This person was ready, knew they had the financial resources to get the best doctors. And if we go back a little bit more, because I can only speak from my experience, being very queer, I was not one, though, that wanted to be a woman when I was a little boy. No. The life that this person had, born male, with male genitals, yet always feeling like they were not in the right body. Depending on where you live and what the class system is, I know for me, as a little kid, I was middle class, upper middle class, but I grew up with a lot of violence and a very abusive dad. My father was a Yosemite Sam from Looney Tunes, 4 feet high, but that dude, don't you mess with him. Don't you mess with my dad. My dad would take you out. And he had a gun. And so I modeled my father's behavior as this little tough, queer, little effeminate kid. But no, I was scared, but I emulated my father's masculinity, hyper masculinity, confrontation, would black out in rage, anger like my dad, and didn't give a fuck. But I was this queer kid, obviously queer. And then when I was old enough, like I was in like the worst neighborhoods DJing, carrying a pistol and everything. And I swore as a kid that I would not be like my dad carrying a pistol. And my father just didn't use precautions to keep us safe with that pistol. I was like, I would never. And then here I ended up as a teenager, as a young adult, carrying one as well. Just like Emilia Perez, when she waved that, she asked the girl, her future lover, you got a knife in your bag? Show me. And she shows, and Emilia comes out with that thing, and I'm like, I laughed. I was like, yes, I know what that is, girl. What is that? Let me explain. Some of us are edgy, gun carrying, criminal. I was not a criminal, but yes, I was. I spent a night in jail for that gun. There's not a one style fits all to a person who decides to transition. I can relate to the toughness and the role who this character was prior to transition. So all that was learned behavior, I'm sure, for his environment, what they experienced, and how they needed to function for safety. And the drug selling could have been a way to say, like, that was the plan. I could say, well, I'm going to go on OnlyFans and earn that money so I could further my transition, or I'm going to sell weed, or I'm going to sell my body as a sex worker to fund my transition. So what's the difference? So then I had to discard what I thought was happening of this Some Like It Hot bullshit that I thought was going down. And it was not that. And now living as a trans woman and having had sacrifice and being that real butch, queen, butch queen. I would DJ, people would say, butch queen, butch queen, butch queen. I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. But I was that kind of kid. Effeminate as fuck. But DJing with the most roughest and toughest in public parks, where my stuff could just be stolen at a drop of a dime, and almost at times was, which is why I got the firearm. So there's different types of people, and not all of us are the meek and mild. It's just my take. Not every person that transitions male to female is gonna be to what you think is the right way to be in transition. And that's what I got from this movie. Selena Gomez, my God, she was amazing. Selena Gomez. Don't know much about you, was never a big follower of you, but you played that role, girl. Miss Jessie, showing your stuff to your man. I saw you walking out of the car with your lover, honey, and your babes were jiggling. And then you could tell your man needed a little bit more of that. You turned around, flashed him like a diva, and kept going. Just to get in the house and have Emilia, your father, your ex-husband, tell you, like, don't you think coming in that early, like that late, the kids are going to school, can we kind of tone that down? You're coming in with this, you just got effed glow, no bra, the girls are just hanging, these little heels, these little shorts, like, can we be considerate of the kids? And Zoe Saldana was amazing. And Carla Sofia, the story was great. I loved the bond that Zoe Saldana, Rita had with Sofia. I loved it. I love how they became friends. I was so real and authentic. How they became like, no, I'm not going to say sisters. They became really, really close. And the redemption that needed to happen for Emilia, when she got the flyer of the missing person and how she took that on as a mission, that was great. And that Rita helped her. And they bonded even more working in that office back to back. Just like Thelma and Louise, they were two badass bitches. That's it. They were ruling things. Emilia had it down, girl. She played Lady Boss, honey. She was Lady Boss. She was boss lady. There's no messing with the messer. To me, it was so real. So real. Kind of a tall, very, very, very Amazon, queen, Emilia. She was a big girl, but she wore it well. They did great with the wardrobe, her makeup, body, everything to make her look great, wonderful. A woman with power. And I like that. I like that Lady Boss. I like to think I'm a more petite version of Lady Boss. I get the shit done. Very alpha. I had bonded with her. She was selfish, right? She discards the family, then she wants them back. She manipulated. She used the money. There was a lot of money, so everybody was comfortable. Like what they said in Parasite, the money is there and there's no wrinkles, right? With enough money, everything is smooth, no wrinkles. But that's not true, is it? Right? She was very selfish. She didn't think about them. She just thought about herself. She wanted what she wanted. She had the money to get it. That was the character. That was their flaw. But she was in charge. She pulled them out and she pulled them in as she wanted. That was her demise in her character. Yeah, that was quite selfish of her. To think that Jessie was going to do what she wanted and that everybody was going to do what she wanted when she snapped a finger and when she denied funds and she cut the flow. That got her in trouble, actually killed her. But then she had to reckon. But so she started that little funding thing, that Las Lucitas, I think that's it, with Rita. They had a nice thing going on, and she redeemed herself. And she fell in love with that very attractive, very brown Latina. I like when she took her hand and went across the pictures of her new lover when they were when she was at her home, and she like looked at her entire past and how cute they looked together too. That was so cute. They were a cute couple. I was like so into her. Oh my god, it was so good. She whipped out that gun. Let me see the knife. Please throw me the knife. Yeah, you're a gangster bitch like me. Let's hook up. You want to hook up? Yeah. Do you want to hook up? Yeah. Gangster bitches. I was like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. That's like set it off. I was like, oh, it's a Queen Latifah thing going on. It's like so cute. So some hard bitches. Where are you from? Brooklyn and the Bronx. Okay, let's hook up. Oh, that was cute. That was cute. I'm down for that. I'm down for raw. There were two roughnecks. Oh, that was cute. But when she got kidnapped, that's when I started like, I started losing it. I was like, oh shit. And then Zoe goes with 30 million, and Zoe Saldana's character was willing to die for her girl, for her friend. And that's when I started getting a lot of emotion. I was like, damn, this is like a friendship. Emilia over her head, and they had cut her fingers, and you see like the stiletto heels, and there's blood. And so she's decked, powerhouse, alpha female, boss lady got captured, is injured, is a hostage, and Jesse did it with the boyfriend, but she decided to get the boyfriend and beat him up, send him away, right? So Jesse's pissed, the boyfriend's pissed, they're gonna get back at her. It was too much emotion for me. And then, she tells Jesse like things about them when they were like dating and when they got married, and I lost it. And I started crying. I was the only one. Because for me, I saw the movie with a partner, which was my longest term partner as a queer male, and is my best friend today. And I threw that relationship away with the one individual that I loved and still love, that knows me like a book. That's been with me through all my surgeries, but I threw him away as a partner. I ended that relationship because I knew I was going to transition, and I knew that he wasn't going to be down for the transition. I should have asked him if he would be down, but I knew he wouldn't be down. And so when Emilia and Jesse were like at that vulnerable place, and Emilia is revealing that she is El Monte or whatever, the husband, I lost it. I lost it. Because they had no idea that the transition itself would not be enough. That you would need your family. They could have communicated to their partner that they wanted a transition, but they just felt like, as a drug cartel, who would respect them, right? I get that. But my point, and what I got very sad and emotional over, was like, for a trans person, when you go through this, you have no idea what's in store for you. I thought this was it. It's all I need, which is 90%, but 10% is still important. You need the 10 to make the 100 with the 90. And do I miss my family? No. I'm lucky to still have that person in my life. And we're watching this together. And I start crying, and he takes my hand, and he, and I'm thinking like, fuck, this movie's triggering all of this shit for me. And yet, I got this person still in my life that can console me. And I told him, I said, listen, I'm crying because that's you and me. That's you and me there. But, I want to keep on my fingers. And that is what is missing when people think about this movie. How could you relate this way, whether you agree with all of this shit that I'm saying or not? You don't have to. Just like you can't agree with the movie and why it's winning all this awards, you cannot relate to the experience of being Latin, of being a woman, and being trans, and the sacrifices that come with all of that. How Emilia's love interest, the beautiful brown woman with the, the knife, she reminded me of my aunt on my mother's side when she was younger. This beautiful brown woman, right? She had that fucking knife. I'm gonna kill him. He raped me. He abused me. I'm gonna kill him. And then I loved too when Vita's like, they kidnapped Emilia. I need 8 of the strongest, toughest dudes, to get it. When they were like, putting ammunition into the rifles and stuff, everything was timed. Even the clicks of the ammunition, click, 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 click of the rifles and shit. That was timed to the music that was going on. And then they had that beautiful woman, like with the tattoos. She looked so good. Like that was a tough biatch, I was like, so I'm glad, like, that's for me. I need to see that. I need to see that queer people exist. I need to see that trans people exist. We all make shit choices. I've made shit choices, still do. And the Emilia Perez character, as a dude and as a woman, made shit choices, especially taking Jesse's husband, because they were gonna, take the children too. He couldn't handle that shit, so he tried to get rid of her love interest, not letting Jessie be who she was, not letting Jessie have her life. They loved each other, Jessie and the guy, el ranchero with the hat. He was so butched up Mexican, perfect Latino stud. They were in love. Yes, they were in love. So she wouldn't leave with the guy and take the kids. It was a good movie. It was cute and it was heart-wrenching and had emotion for me. I heard somewhere they called this kind of like a Miss Doubtfire thing, being the aunt as Miss Doubtfire. That's a low fucking blow. Oh, people can be so cruel. Jesus Christ. That's what some people called it. Miss Doubtfire. Damn. But this was not Miss Doubtfire. This was someone who wanted their children back and didn't know how to actually like integrate all of this. And this is what they chose, how to do it. I thought the doctor scene and the Rita scene with the 24 years, I've been a doctor since 24. And Rita was like, well, I've been a lawyer since 24. It was cute. That interchange was cute. I liked the song. It seemed like a karaoke scene with Jessie and her guy. It was very karaoke-ish, the visuals to it. It's a cute song, cute song, cute song. A lot of the songs were cute. The song that Emilia did, I'm not in, I'm not out, I'm not a man, I'm not a woman, I'm not anything 100, when you're in this situation. I'm alive, but I'm not alive anymore because I'm an auntie now. I'm Miss Doubtfire. I was a hood drug cartel. But I gotta say, I would certainly watch this again, given the opportunity. But I own the movie, maybe so. And I was really anti these French director, writers, whoever, writing a story about trans and Mexicans or Latinos. I was like, what the hell do they know about trans and Latinos? And this was based, I think, on some writing, a book, a novel. Some light influence came. There was a story that I don't know the writer's name, but I was a little anti, like, oh, this is like a hipster's from France perspective on trans and life in Mexico. So I was like, I'm tired of white people trying to educate us on a life they haven't lived. But I'll tell you, the actors in this movie and the writing and everything was really good. Have I been to a movie that I would think about buying the soundtrack to? This is the first movie since Victor Victoria. I purchased the soundtrack to Victor Victoria with Julie Andrews. All that cross-dressing and non-binary shit that was going down. I've talked about it in The Last Showgirl. How that was like, oh my God, this is so good, like Crying Game. Yeah, that's the soundtrack I have too. It's the Crying Game. With Jay Davidson and Stephen Rea. That was a good movie too. See, I like movies like that. Give me queer. I need to see queer people. How was that taken back in the day? The Crying Game. I don't remember people beefing too much about that. That was a great movie. Jay Davidson tore that up. Excellent movie. What would I give it? A-. almost an A. Had me crying at the end like a little girl. I was so moved. The last movie I cried watching with my friend was Monster with Charlize Theron. At the end of that movie, I couldn't move for like 5 minutes. I started crying at the end. Like, yeah, this did something to me too in that way. I love when movies can rivet me. It was riveting the emotion. That's what a movie is supposed to do. This was real, real creative writing, excellent cinematography, edgy. I love edgy. The music was good. The songs were good. The little song about Papa and the Diet Cokes with lemon and ice and the roasted lamb smells and aromas. I thought that was such a cute little song. I read somewhere people were dogging the lyrics to that. That's a kid singing a perspective about their parent and what they, the aroma of the parent. I think people are just hating. They're hating on this movie because it's got a strong trans perspective, extremely, and it's about Mexicans, Mexican life, and women. So, fuck you, right? Fuck you to that. Oh, we're not, I'm not opening none of that shit. But for me, it's my cup of coffee, honey. Little coffee maker that Emilia Perez love interest had the old school little cafetero thing. Yeah, so cute, so cute. Oh, sitting on each other's lap. So cute. Cute, so cute, little couple. Lovely. So my thanks to everyone who did that movie. I want to thank you, Zoe. I still don't really dig you because you dissed me. Mad diss. Carla, Sofia, bendiciones con esto because you turned it out, mama. That was good. I'm sorry. You did good. That was amazing. And all the other actors and Miss Selena Gomez, all girl, and the love interest of Emilia, la trigueña, bien bonita. Oh, she gave a good vibe. Everybody played it. None of the actors were slacking. Everybody was on point, even the Jewish doctor. He was Jewish. What, Wasserman? Dr. Wasserman, whatever. Everybody, the tough guys with the tough girl, everybody was on point. Jesse's guy with his hat, in love with her and her boobs. Everybody played it perfect. It was an amazing movie. I hope it wins everything. Pa que sepan. All right, y'all. My name is Sarah Sobeda. Take what you want and leave the rest. This is a long video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel. I'm going to keep the hope alive. Who knows? But I'm very satisfied with my life. I am grateful for being a trans woman and grateful to see movies like this come to surface and get notoriety like this. So I wish the directors and the actors and everybody that was involved in the making of this movie, I wish them a lot of luck and success. And I hope they score out. But everybody has their preferences. But I like substance like this, and this was really good. Made me cry. Bye. Thank you.